The sad truth is that your education actually starts after school. And yes, I meant when you leave school, when you finish school, that's when your education actually starts. Let me explain. The truth is, the education that we got in school wasn't ever really education. It was more of a systematic curriculum. It trained you to become a fact man. It trained you to become a human encyclopedia, and we've all heard this one: school trained you to become an employee. Therefore, it wasn't ever your education. It was a system created in order for you to kind of follow a system. I am 19 years old. I have now left the education system fully, and I can tell you that I learnt nothing in school. You know, I feel like we were taught to obey, we were taught to follow a system. If you get told to do something, you do it. You get told to do homework, you do it. You're told to do a test, you do it. And if you mess up and you fail to do it, then you get punished. It's as simple as that. It was a systematic curriculum in order to train you to become a worker citizen. Like you fight for the country, you become a hard-working, proud citizen in a system. There are so many topics we didn't learn in school, and it's bizarre to me now when I look back at it. So guys, you are going to need to self-educate, and I'm going to list these things of what you need to do. Firstly, let's talk about the topic of money. We were never taught anything about money. We were never taught about tax. We were never taught about assets or liabilities or investment. We were never really taught how to make money. It was bizarre because there was kids unboxing toys. There's people on TikTok that are younger than me and you making more money than our teachers combined in a month. It's crazy. So what you'll need to do, you need to read books to educate yourself. There are 2 books about money you need to read, right? I've read quite a few money books. A lot of them are wasting my time, but I'm going to tell you 2 you need to read. If you're a complete beginner, which I was, I suggest you start on the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. It is a vague book. It's a very brief introduction to, you know, entrepreneurship. I would say start with that so you gain a concept of money. Next, the most important book you need to read is The Millionaire Fastlane. And if you really want, you can start with this book. I would recommend the other one to start with, but if you really want, start with this book. The Millionaire Fastlane is a book that has changed my way of thinking about money, changed the way I see money and see the employment structure and see businesses. You need to read this book. MJ DeMarco, if you're watching this video, I actually love you and I want to take you on a date. I'm joking, chill out. I like my females, you know what I mean? But make sure you read that book because it's a very important explanation about money and what we weren't taught. You know, we live every day following this piece of advice and following the script. We never actually took the time to think about what is going on around us, especially with the concept of money. I have actually broken down The Millionaire Fastlane on this channel. Make sure you watch that video. I'm going to link in the description below. Another thing that school failed to teach me and you was about health, the topic of health. And what you need to do, guys, is understand health is not only mental health as well. What you consume with food and what you consume with media and your phone, you know, the other side of consumption. I have also spoken about how to reduce your phone consumption, so make sure you watch those videos. Follow my YouTube channel, subscribe to my content. This is where I talk about health, you know, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, you know, structures that have been put in place of what, you know, people started eating. For example, after the Industrial Revolution, a lot of processed foods came. We would need to eat foods that are similar to what we ate before the Industrial Revolution. This is something I've spoken about on this channel as an example, so follow my YouTube channel and you will get videos on health. The next thing that we were never taught was about exercise, right? Exercise is the most important thing, and some of you may say, yeah, but in school you did PE or physical education. I think in America you lot call it gym class, but the real truth is you never really did any exercise, right? Time was wasted changing into your gym clothes, changing back into your uniform. Time was wasted, you know, explaining the drill. Time was wasted picking the teams. You only really did about 20-30 minutes of actual exercise. This is something you need to do every single day. So if you're a young man aiming to become more masculine, hit the gym. We're not talking about cardio, we're not talking about HIIT training. We are talking about bulking up and getting bigger, weight and resistant training, eating good food, high protein meals. After you've successfully bulked up and you've got the size, you've got the mass, and you worked on your muscles, that's when you trim down and you cut your body fat and you look more masculine. You've got the physique, and that's what makes you more attractive. On top of that, exercise is just generally healthy, you know, it's generally good for your health. It improves your mental health, improves your well-being, it makes your body function better. And for thousands of years, humans were constantly exercising. We were hunting, we were fighting animals to survive, we were walking, and we were exploring. Lack of exercise is why diseases are so common today. We weren't taught about meditation as well, right? Meditation is something that is very misconcepted in our society. We think that sitting there like this, you know, holding your breath and looking like an idiot, a bit like you. What you need to understand is meditation is an act of where you control your breathing, you focus on your breathing, but what it actually does, it helps you focus on one thing, and that makes you present in the present moment, if you know what I mean. What meditation helps you do is when you're more present in the present moment, you think about things rather than just mindlessly doing them. For example, fapping. You think, this is bad for me, I am not going to do it. Junk food. You look at the junk food, you go, this is unhealthy, I am not going to eat it. It really helps. It's really going to take you far on your self-improvement journey. It's going to make you a lot more productive, a lot more focused. And finally, we did not learn about relationship advice and making friends, right? And those two things are very important, right? Every single person, meets people. Every single person comes across humans on a day-to-day life. We are humans. We need love. We need to socially interact. And because society hasn't taught us this, because school failed to taught us this has led to a lot of problems on us making friends, speaking to women. So there's a lot of things you can do. The first and most important thing I would say to you is read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book teaches you about empathy. Humans rely on empathy. They rely on appreciation. Every human wants to be important. And if you can make people feel this way, they will like you. If you can get people to talk, if you can appreciate people correctly, obviously, if you can show appreciation and interest in someone else and make them feel important, they will like you. I've literally kind of just summed up the whole book in one sentence, but you need to read this book by Dale Carnegie. It's a masterpiece. And I have also made a video summarizing this book, so make sure you watch this video. Those are the 5 things we were not taught in school, which are very important things in your self-improvement journey. Those 5 things, right? Money, exercise, meditation, and relationship advice, making friends. So make sure you start your self-improvement journey. Make sure you understand these things and start learning about these things in depth. Stay tuned for more content and start your real education today. I'll catch you on the next video. Love.